Well, the brothers and sisters of Yucca will be holding a conscious rally this weekend at their headquarters in Frederickstead. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report with good music, healthy, delicious food, and positive vibrations to be sure.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. I'm sitting with royalty this evening, Queen Asheba, I believe I said that right, with Yucca. Before we get started, I'd like to give our condolences to 51-year-old Rita Hamilton and your family at Yucca, two-time chili.
Based on the level of damages and destruction that took place with the rains that we received in the last 24 hours, in particular. And I did it in conjunction with Gary, the superintendent for the school system.
This is about
also with Commissioner Smalls and with the tag and Mr. Centrum, just to get a sense of what has taken place here in the island of St. Croix, particularly on the western end. And given the level of rainfall and also the runoff, it's very clear that a tremendous amount of infrastructure work is going to be required. Work that to some extent may not give us the ability
Yes, that is so true, Wes. We'll be having a lot of demonstration about, healthy living and healthy eating, about how to plant and, properly. The PAL band will also be playing. We'll also have storytelling by myself. There's a famous puppet show no one should miss. All of that will be taken. We'll also have a tribute to Sister Rita, in a fashion show farm. And, people could come up and give the good word, about her. We'll also having people from, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, coming to partake in this event. For anyone who wants any additional information, you could call Queen Empress Becky
we're making sure at 473-7389. They go on, being able to have activities both in Frederickstead and in Christiansted, that we can still continue to show that St. Croix is open, that the Virgin Islands is open for business, even with the level of devastation that took place. Unfortunately, we had one loss of life, and on behalf of myself, my family, the entire community, the Lieutenant Governor, we really want to say our condolences to the family of Mrs. Hamilton. She was a tremendous individual, very much involved with the
again, I'm with royalty.
And unfortunately, again, we really extend our condolences to her.
I'm Wes
and I encourage everyone that, if not necessary, that you stay at home, stay dry, try to stay off the roads for this period of time, given the level of water the amount of obstacles in the road, the clearing that has to be done, work being done by both
Wes Small has more.
Now we are at the 19-year-old Francois Peterson. He is the first person from the Virgin Islands to die in the Vietnam War. You can see it there. He lost his life right around the Tet Offensive, I would believe, right around 1968. I'm here now with Battalion Commander Gordon. She is a major, and she's a senior at Central High School, Junior ROTC. And explain to us what you just did, ma'am.
Well, right now I just placed a flag on a veteran grave. This is the first veteran to ever get killed in the Vietnam War.
How does this make you feel, Commander, that perhaps with your career you might be going in harm's way yourself as you pay tribute to your fallen comrades?
Well, it actually feels good because I really don't know this much veterans that died in the Vietnam War, but it gave me such a great honor just to put a flag on the veteran graves. And my battalion is also, as you can see, putting flags on each veteran's grave, so it's gave me a good feeling about it.
Commander, what would you like to do with your career?
Well, after I graduate from high school, I'm going out to study engineering
we're going to continue
at the
to assess
University of
all
Virgin
road
Islands, and I'm
conditions so we can
transferred to
determine
Cambridge
the
University
overall
to study
effects of the torrential downpour.
engineering.
We're going to be working directly with the Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency and FEMA to determine the overall damages and whether the declaration it will be in order for the territory. Just based on the initial assessments that we've been able to look at thus far, I do believe that we are approaching that threshold, and of course our crews will continue to monitor. I just want to encourage the community to adhere to the warnings that are issued by the National Weather Service, along with
right, sir, what does this mean for you on how you do this to take care of the cemetery, especially your fallen comrades, the veterans?
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is having the kids know how important that people serving our country, how important it is for the nation, and it's part of the community service for them also. and that's part of what our TC is all about.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us today.
You're welcome.
All right. In conclusion, here with Major Webster, before we close this out, there's a couple of tips that we want to relate to you. Major, you were telling me something about the flowers.
The other schools,
how artificial flowers up here look
to get them
beautiful,
ready and prepared for another final
I was saying that the artificial flowers, when the person you love them pass, the artificial flowers look great, but then after several months of just sitting there on the cask, on the tombs, they deteriorate and they really make a mess of the cemetery. So if you have a loved one that's buried up here, you know, it makes good sense to come up here occasionally and, you know, just clean around it, you know, and probably put some paint. These veterans graves, the tombs, could use a little scraping and a little painting, and I think that should be the responsibility of their loved ones. We would love to help if you ask for help, but I think it's a huge task for just a ROTC program or anybody else, but family members should come up here and, you know, try to take care of their loved ones' tombs.
Okay, that's that. And if you have any old flags, American flags that you want to discard, remember there is a ritual, a ceremony, and he's going to give you a number, and also you could bring them to the American Legion Hall, because on Flag Day on June 14th, that's when the flags will be properly disposed of. For example, for Francois Peterson, that's the first grave we took today, that 19-year-old veteran that lost his life in Vietnam, the first here. We took the old flag off. It was just a little tattered, and he put it in his truck where he'll take it and dispose of it in June. So let's remember that. If you have any old flags, is there a number that you could call, sir?
Well, you need to call the American Legion. I can't remember the number offhand.
They're listed.
Sergeant Major Celia, the American Legion, will they'll be more than happy. They'll be more than happy to take your flag. You need to get it to them before June 14th. June 14th is Flag Day, and that's when they have their ceremony up at the Legion Hall where they burn all the flags.
Okay. Thank you very much, Major Webster, and to all our junior ROTC young men and women out here. You're watching your sons and daughters and your nieces and nephews tonight. You people should be very proud how they are up here and they're showing support and commemoration to our fallen comrades and trying to keep this cemetery clean.
I need to add one thing here, Mr. West. I'd like to add that some of these flags were given to me last night by Mr. Moorhead, who is the Director of Veterans Affairs. I told him what I was doing, and he told me he had some additional flags, and he gave them to me. So he helped out with the flags.
All right, thank you very much. So here we are once again at Kings Hill Cemetery. It's a good thing that the junior ROTC are doing. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes, and nice work for the students of the junior ROTC. And there'll be a fantastic stage production put on by the students at the Good Hope School on St. Croix called The Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. That production features the talents of 38 Good Hope students, ranging from the 4th grade all the way up to high school. The show will be run from Thursday through to Saturday, and tickets are just $5 for students and $10 for adults. For more information, you can call 772-0022. And when we come back from this break, we'll take a look at your Caribbean report for tonight. Let's take a look at your Caribbean report for tonight. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has apologized for a controversial statement on aid to CARICOM neighbors hit by Hurricane Tomas. Following the passage of the storm at the end of October, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar suggested that Port of Spain should benefit from any help it would provide. Her comments drew strong criticism and also prompted calls in Jamaica for a boycott of Trinidad products. In an interview with Radio Jamaica on Monday, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said that her statements were unfortunate. And the murder trial for Suriname's President Desi Bortris went outside the courthouse on Monday for the first time since it began 2 years ago. Judges and lawyers traveled to the colonial fort in the capital, where Mr. Bortris, then a military dictator, and his allies are accused of executing 15 political opponents in 1982. Accompanying them was a witness who had testified that Mr. Bortris was present when the activists were lined up and shot. Mr. Bortres, who was installed as an elected president in August, was now required to attend the hearing. He has denied a direct role in the killing, and the defense lawyer said that the Fort visit backed up his case. The next hearing in this case is scheduled for Friday. And Cuban President Raul Castro has been seeking to clarify a type of economic reform he's proposing for the country. He has published a 32-page booklet entitled Guidelines for Social and Economic Policy. In it, Mr. Castro insists that planning reforms will not move Cuba towards capitalism, but is an update of the communist ideals embraced by the government for the half-past century. The government this month unveiled a 5-year plan that calls for cuts in social spending while attracting private capital. And finally, Haiti's Prime Minister of Health says that more than 1,000 people have now died in the cholera epidemic that's sweeping the country. More than 1,600 people have been treated in hospital, and the disease has reached almost every province of the country. On Monday, United Nations peacekeepers shot dead 2 protesters during a riot by people who accused the UN troops of bringing in cholera into Haiti. The UN insists there is no evidence to support that accusation. It says that violence may have been linked to presidential elections due at the end of the month.